Welcome back, my friends, to TFT Hyperroll with Artark, as we are finally in Hyperroll. All has been revealed and we now know everything, and I have a lot of opinions on it, which I will put in another video. This is a build video. As you can see, we started with probably the 3 most boring augments of the group. So there really is no terrible augment this time, but oftentimes you'll get one of the good ones like the multi-talented or all prismatic or something like that. This one, I got to choose training dummy. Why not? Just because it's there. Now, as far as headliners go, unless something screamingly obvious comes up in this first round, I like to wait until after I get the augments to figure out what headliner it's going to be. Now, none of these were really exciting to me, so I'm going to go ahead and roll all of them and see what I get. I was very torn between return on investment and portable forge. Return on investment this early is great. It's guaranteeing you a crown, but with portable forge, you can pick stuff up like this. Something that can regenerate health is going to help a ton here. And another thing that happened, right about this moment, the phone rang, and so I was on the phone as I was trying to figure out what my build was going to be. When I saw the Kai'sa and I already had a Lilia, I decided I was going to do something that no one should do and try and force a specific build. It's one that's really popular right now, so you're likely to see multiples of it in every lobby. But if you get lucky and pull it off, yeah, it can go really well. Now, some things you need to know. Lilia is a frontline tank. She's going to benefit from tank items. Kai'sa is an AD, even though she's using her W. So I've seen a lot of people in a lot of games stacking her with AP items. No, stack with AD, Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, stuff like that is what's good for her. This is the moment for me where everything gets solidified in this build. When I find Misfortune, she will create Big Shot, and then the ability to create Jazz once we find Bard. Jazz works like the Stand United trait from the long ago. It used to be an augment, now it is part of the Jazz trait. And the way it works is you get bonuses based on how many traits you have active. So the more traits you have active, the more bonuses you end up getting. There are 3 Jazz champs in the game, which include Bard, Misfortune, and Lucian, and you can get up to 4 depending on how your headlining goes. It's time for an item choice. Key item for Misfortune is going to be Rageblade. So bow and needlessly large rod, yep, that's going to be for Misfortune. Now, the tricky thing with this build is you have a lot to build out. Your goal is to create Superfan Misfortune. Misfortune needs to be the headliner, but you also need to get Superfan, you need to get KDA, you need to get Jazz. You need that all together, and there's a very particular strategy for doing it, and we'll go through it here. Number 1 is I only pick up a headliner early if I know I'm going to be able to dump them and if they're gonna help me potentially win going forward. Pandora's items was an easy take for me here simply because I need to be able to craft my items pretty specifically. We're going to need a Spear of Sojin on Bard without any question, so we need to be able to get the item for that. It's time to start switching over just a little bit more to what we're trying to do. We don't have our 3 super fans yet. That's going to be key for this, but you'll see how it all comes together. One of the nice things with Bard is that he may drop 3 gold. What he does is a little bit random. He can heal, he can do damage, he can drop additional gold every time he ults. So getting that additional gold is going to help you with the rolling that's coming, because there's a moment in this build that's pretty desperate, and if you don't hit it perfect, you're in trouble. You are also only making 2 items for Misfortune. Rageblade Infinity Edge. At least that's how I like it. I've seen people use Last Whisper or other things. I find Infinity Edge works best because it gives her ability the chance to crit. Don't necessarily expect to win early. Lose streaks are going to happen with this one. Since you have a 25% chance to get a 3-cost headliner in this stage, you can roll a little bit, but you probably want to save most of it for 7. Once I 2-star the Bard, I can dump that chosen, put this one in, put the tier on, and then hope one of my items turn into a sword in a little bit. My goal with this build is to go into stage 7 with as much gold as possible and no headliner, so that I get the best chance of getting a 3-cost headliner, and I need it to be Misfortune. Rolled through all my gold at the start of stage 7, no luck there. Went ahead and grabbed Bigger Shot because that will help Kai'sa and Misfortune be just a little bit stronger. We're getting a lot of Kai'sas, but we need to hit the headline Misfortune. That's the key, and if we don't, we're gonna be in big trouble because without it, the build just doesn't work. 7 and 8 are where you have your best chance of picking up a 3-cost headliner. It's 60% chance in 7, 70% chance in 8. So we need to get it there or it doesn't matter. But of course, with health at 2, it almost doesn't matter now. Now, the reason why this is important is because we are running Superfan, and Superfan gets an additional item automatically. In Misfortune's case, it's Deathblade, which is a great item. Superfan doesn't always really give great items, which is kind of weird. Nico is a key pickup. That gives us now KDA. Now look at our list of traits. We have Superfan, Jazz, KDA, Big Shot, Guardian, Sentinel, True Damage. They are all represented in this build, and now we just want to start building it up because once it gets going, it's really hard to stop. And this is one of those builds that once the pieces are in place, it becomes incredibly hard to stop. The bonuses they're getting from Jazz and Misfortune with those items can just absolutely wreck the damage board. We've gone ahead and put the Rageblade on Kai'sa. It's fairly good for her because she'll attack faster and faster, but remember, she is an AD champ. Go ahead, pick up the Titan's Resolve. We can put that on Kai'sa. Note, we are just one Kai'sa away from getting her to gold, one Bard away from getting Bard to gold, so we're looking pretty good, provided we don't run into anyone who has just hit a miracle comp. The training dummy has worked out really well because it can sit right in the center square of our KDA board, and so it's getting a little bit of bonus along with everything else, but it allows the main aggro to focus in the center where Bard and Misfortune are just tearing it apart. I brought in Alawi just to make the front line a little stronger, but keep in mind that ill beats does not count towards our Jazz bonus. Pick up the Giant Slayer for Kai'sa. Remember, again, she is AD. Now, we 3-starred the Bard, and you will see how important that is in this fight, because Misfortune is the key. She's going to do the most damage, but if she gets hit, she's fairly squishy. Bard brings her back from the brink of death and allows her to finish this team off that had some really powerful champions on it. Now, why Infinity Edge on Misfortune? Allow this match to demonstrate that Jinx is capable of tearing this entire team apart, but Misfortune has crit on her ult, and bam! That crit takes it out, allows us to win this match, and brings us into the top 4. It is time for some item choices, and we're going to go ahead and grab the Brawler emblem, and the reason is that will tick another trait. Alawi is a Brawler, so if we can get another Brawler on the team, one more trait, which just increases the bonus on Jazz. Then the Archangel Staff for Bard, because Bard's up at 3 stars, casting like crazy, keeping people alive, and just wreaking havoc on the other team, so now we're pretty set. And you can see the impact of the Jazz bonuses. Even champions without items who are just hanging out, like Echo and Cannon, have fairly beefy health bars. The damage we are putting out is just, it's a little insane. Misfortune can just stand in that back line and tear things apart. Even a full stacked Poppy doesn't stand a chance, and Annie just gets leveled. And with all of this now working together, it's almost impossible to stop, even with a gold 3-star Jinx, and she's punked because there's a 3-star Pantheon in front, so she's been getting bonuses throughout the game. But again, the misfortune crits are absolutely critical, pun intended, and we're able to survive that round. Now, the way Hyperroll works this year, 11-1 is a winner-take-all round. It does over 20 damage, so if you lose it, you're out. This person tried to get to the 3-star Jhin, couldn't, and dropped, and it was GG for everyone. This build is crazy. Get it while it's hot. I suspect they're going to nerf it in some way, but it's also highly competitive. Hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, have an absolutely awesome day.